I'm MJ. I've been asked by the City Treasurer to talk about cash handling. It's the City Treasurer's job by law to receive, retain, safeguard, and disperse all city revenue and keep detailed records of these transactions. It is your job as a cash handler to help the treasurer in these duties. There's no such thing as just a cash handler or cashier. As most citizens are concerned, you are the city. When citizens or customers arrive, remember to greet them pleasantly. When they have questions, answer expertly or find the answer. And then when they leave, you are the one they will remember. The duties of a cash handler are: 1. Establish and maintain good customer relations. 2. Receive and give change to customers. 3. Perform operations according to established procedures and balance and deposit cash daily. 4. Protect the assets of the city through sound loss prevention practices. 5. Assist in other cash handling activities as directed by your supervisor. 4 essential expectations of your work are: 1. Be accurate, allowing no errors if you can help it. 2. Be efficient, performing quickly and cost-effectively. 3. Comply with Treasurer's Office and your department's stated policies. 4. Show initiative arising from a desire to excel and contribute to your departmental goals. Be all in. There are federal cash handling regulations. Whenever there has been an economic crisis in the U.S., confidence in the banking industry was questioned. Some of these economic disasters have included such events as runs on banks, inflation, money panics, the severe depression of the 1930s, and the financial near collapse of 2008-2009. In order to restore the public's trust in the banking industry, Congress has enacted legislation to minimize further economic crises and to establish the American economy. This legislation has established the rules under which cash handlers, so you, must operate. Brigham City is in Federal Reserve District Number 12 under the purview of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. Commercial banks exist as private, profit-seeking institutions that possess the power to generate money through earnings by deposits and loans. Money creation by banks can be a very beneficial, also a very risky practice. This is one reason the government regulates banks so heavily. If these practices are not well regulated, an environment of economic uncertainty can be created, such as was experienced in 2008-2009. A federal regulation is that monies must be deposited promptly. Brigham City Cash policy states all departments and their employees must follow Utah Code Title 51, Chapter 4. The code requires that money should be deposited daily, but no later than once every 3 banking days. This doesn't mean that departments can hold deposits for 3 days. The deposit to the treasurer should be made the same day so that the deposit can be processed by finance on the 2nd day and deposited to the bank the next day, thus taking 3 days from the time that money was received by the city until it is deposited into the bank. Our policy details deposits as follows. 1. Cashiers must complete a departmental deposit slip indicating the total of all cash, checks, and cards to be deposited at the finance office. 2. If depositing more than 1 check, enclose an adding machine tape or a list reflecting each check amount and total. Keep checks in the same sequence as the tape. 3. After-hour deposits will be dropped into the night depository safe located at the entrance of City Hall. 4. Deposits must be in a sealed bag or envelope and must contain deposit slip with date, department name, and signed by the deposit preparer. 5. Deposits during business hours must be brought into City Hall to the Finance Department. Only the Federal Reserve Bank has the responsibility of issuing currency for the U.S. Our currency takes the form of notes engraved on special stock and linen cotton and come in 7 common denominations, each bearing a portrait of a different famous American. And this will help you to tell if a bill is counterfeit. Counting currency. To ensure accuracy, here are a couple of common ways of counting. Each method ensures that no bill is counted twice. Whichever method you use, recount the money as many times as necessary to come up with the same total twice. First is hand-to-hand method. Separate bill into denomination with all bills facing up and largest bills first. Transfer one bill at a time from one hand to the other as you count. Check bills as you count to ensure correct denomination and presence of security features. If your totals do not agree, repeat the count until they do. The hand-to-hand method should be used when receiving cash from a customer. In order to separate bills and carefully examine each one, when making change, this method should also be used, except that instead of cash being transferred to your other hand, you will place it in the customer's hand as you count. The transaction is not complete until the customer agrees that the change was counted back correctly. By using the hand-to-hand method, the cash handler sees the bills twice and is making the all-important second count, drawer to hand or hand to hand. The hand-to-table method is the same as the hand-to-hand, except that instead of placing currency in the customer's hand, you will place the currency on the table as you count it. Counting coins, as with currency, you want to establish a set routine for counting coins to maximize your accuracy. We require that coins be rolled when accepting large amounts of coins from customers. The customer needs to put their name, address, and phone number on the outside of every single roll. If they are just a few rolls, open each and count them. If it is a very large count of rolls, then run your fingernail across the roll to make sure coins are in the roll. Then compare the length of each roll to each other to ensure that the same amount of coins are in each roll. When receiving cash, always keep money in view of the customer. Never place money in the cash drawer before the transaction is complete. Separate the currency from the coins. Count each currency denomination separately. Count each coin denomination separately also. Count all currency and coin in the presence of the customer. Verify the grand total against the billing or invoice. If any discrepancies exist between your total and the customer's count, count the money again. If a problem still exists, ask for help. Have a coworker count the money. Put away currency and coins from the last transaction before starting a new one. As currency is an excellent carrier of germs, wash your hands frequently and don't touch your face. Always give a receipt. Place currency in your cash drawer by denomination. Place the bills facing up and facing the same direction. Do not allow your drawer to become overstuffed. Bundle your cash, put it in a sealed bag or in the locked safe drawer. And currency should be bundled as follows. On to checks and cashing. Personal checks are the most common type of checks. Checks should be written out to Brigham City Corporation. Checks should be endorsed with a stamp on the back as they are received. No two-party checks should be accepted, so checks written out to someone else and then endorsed to the city. No change can be given for any check. No post-dated checks are accepted, as they are illegal. No traveler checks are accepted. Personal money orders are purchased from a vendor for cash. They can be accepted with caution, as counterfeit checks can be produced and the accounts on which the money orders are drawn can be insufficient. Cashier checks are drawn on a financial institution's own funds and are accepted. Checks must be examined to determine that the dollar amount that is spelled out and printed numerically matches. The amount that is spelled out is the amount that the bank accepts. As always, always give a receipt. Cash should be safeguarded always. Lock your cash register when not in use. Always keep your register closed, unless counting change or placing payment into the register. Accuracy is the most important when handling cash. And remember, always give a receipt. Brigham City accepts credit cards, where a credit card machine is present. Only individuals approved and trained by the city are permitted to handle card holder data. You will be trained to use your charge machine by others in your department. You never record or keep card holder information. Keep any voided slips with your charge batch. If your department accepts cards over the phone, those payments need to be entered into the payment device at the time the customer provides the information. You don't write it down. Close out the card machine batch at the end of your shift and reconcile your charges with the total charge deposits or payments. If they don't match, go through each charge until they do. Your charge slips are numbered sequentially so you can tell if one is missing. If a customer requests a refund, you may run their card as a refund for the amount that they paid. If you have not printed a settlement for the shift, you may void their charge. If a request is made for a refund of cash or check, it must be processed through the finance office and then a check will be sent to that customer. Cash handlers are important employees of Brigham City. You have had a background check before you started working, but sometimes things go wrong. Failure to comply with Brigham City cash handling procedures can lead to disciplinary action, up to and including termination. If you suspect any wrongdoing from a coworker, immediately notify your supervisor or the department director or the city treasurer. An internal review will be started immediately. If a robbery occurs, cooperate with the thieves. When you are safe, call 911. Notify supervisory staff as soon as possible. Thanks for choosing to be a part of Brigham City.
Yay! I like that one even better.
That was awesome. That was your best one yet.